so proud of your president, and I don't care about that. But you are going to be so proud of your country because we're going to turn it around and we're going to start winning again. We're going to win so much. We're going to win at every level. We're going to win economically. We're going to win with the economy. We're going to win with military. We're going to win with healthcare and for our veterans. We're going to win with every single facet. We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. See, the bottom line is...
Good morning, Warriors. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of your favorite crypto news channel, Good Morning Crypto, where we bring you the most relevant and impactful crypto-related topics from a top crypto research team in the world. And no, it's not Monday, Johnny Crypto. We are live Sunday afternoon to break down the massive announcement that we just got out of President Trump this morning. And this is breaking news. Anybody who hasn't seen what we're talking about, this is going to be a shocking update here from Good Morning Crypto. Now, big kudos to ourselves here, Johnny. We've been calling this since October of 2024. I'm going to remove you off the screen and kick it straight to you after this update, guys. We already got 4,000 people here. Show us some love. Smash that like button. And I agree with President Trump. You may even get tired of winning here in 2025, whether you own Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, the list goes on. And we're going to give you the breaking news as to why we are so bullish today. Now, the breaking news from President Trump, I will create a U.S. crypto reserve that includes XRP, Solana, and Cardano. Now, I could drop the mic and end the episode right now, but we're going to provide some breaking news details up here, Johnny. Here's the direct statement. We're going to provide an update for the Bitcoin and Ethereum community as well, because obviously they're not in the first tweet. President Trump gave a following update, but this was the initial announcement that came out just 1 hour ago from the U.S. president. A U.S. crypto reserve will elevate the critical industry after years of corrupt attacks by the Biden administration, which is why my executive order on digital assets directed the presidential working group to move forward on a crypto strategic reserve that includes XRP, Solana, and Cardano. Once again, could drop the mic and end the episode, but we're going to celebrate here with you guys. I will make sure the U.S. is the crypto capital of the world, and we are making America great again. And there's another update that I just want to provide. I'm going to kick it straight to you, Johnny. 20 minutes after the update, Donald Trump followed up once again with this statement. And obviously, Bitcoin and Ethereum, as well as other valuable cryptocurrencies, will be at the heart of the reserve. I also love Bitcoin and Ethereum. So, Johnny, you're full screen now. Forget the live chat. Put it to the sidelines, because at the end of the day, guys, it's a celebration episode here on Good Morning Crypto. And that's why we got Johnny Crypto on a Sunday afternoon. So smash that like button. Let's break 1,000 likes on today's stream, guys. We got the headlines to talk about. We got the updates to get into. But most importantly, Johnny, we're making money. Everybody's making money this morning. The entire topic all throughout the week was, is alt season over? Are we putting this thing behind us? Last update, XRP is up now 30% on the daily time frame, trading at about $2.87 this morning. We had Solana and Cardano both up over 25% as well. So, guys, let me know. Are you excited? What are your vibes in the live chat? It's a beautiful day, Johnny. It's a beautiful day in America, but it's a beautiful day in the digital asset space in general. What's your initial reaction here, and how do you feel? We don't have to speculate any longer. Donald Trump officially makes the XRP, Solana, and Cardano announcement to be included in the U.S. crypto reserve. Floor is yours.
The speculation is over. Good morning, crypto has just become good afternoon, crypto, because it is middle of the day. There's nothing like getting a call from your best friend saying, hey, wake up. Have you seen the news? I was sleeping. Good morning or good afternoon to all the Warrior Maniacs out there. I love and appreciate you guys for showing up every single day. And of course, it is the regular day. It is a Sunday. It's a happy day. And it's a new day in America, my friends. Abs, you're right. We've been calling this out for the longest time. Credit to you as well on the show that we would get a strategic reserve. It would be more than just Bitcoin. There's been a lot of people out there doubting it. And here it is today. There's no more doubt. It's over. You heard it from the man himself. When Trump says something, we know he's going to do something. We will now have XRP, Solana, and Cardano as part of the Bitcoin reserve. And then, of course, Abs, you know, the minute he sent out that tweet, pull up your other tweet, he got a phone call and from all his Bitcoin people like, dude, what the freak? Bitcoin's not going to be in this thing. And so obviously he had to put out a second tweet and told everybody else, guys, calm down. Bitcoin and Ethereum will also be at the heart of it. And what this really tells me, Abs, is this is the beginning of a volatile. Like we talked about when we looked at the past, how the U.S. operated. We looked at the strategic reserves that we hold, right? And we know there's only three. We talked about gold, oil, and fiat. And in each category, it's just one. We don't hold gold, silver, platinum. And in oil, we don't hold natural gas and coal, right? It's just one. But yet, as a strategic reserve, the thinking was he going to just do Bitcoin or is he going to expand the basket? Well, folks, you just got the answer today. He's expanding the basket. It isn't going to just be Bitcoin that we're going to be holding. It's going to be Bitcoin. It's going to be Ethereum. It's going to be Solana, Cardano, XRP, and Abs. I'll tell you what, I don't think it's going to end right there. I really don't. I think if you read his words, he said many more, and we know he's all about made in America. It would not surprise me if we start to see only more made in America. Now, obviously, people are going to argue BTC's not. Yeah, I get it. That's getting a special thing. I think we're going to see other coins made in America being preferable that are going to get added to this strategic U.S. reserve.
You know what it tells me too, Johnny? There's two conversations that can be taken way more seriously going forward. The simple one, the easy one, it's the Ripple versus SEC case. The fact that this thing hasn't been resolved yet, it's a joke, but we're going to get into some Jeremy Hogan and Meta Lawman statements here that kind of describe why that may be the case. The second major thing, and it's another detail we've been focused on Good Morning Crypto in particular, is this capital gains tax removal for US-based crypto projects. There is more evidence than ever for that right now. And there's two things that Eric Trump had been very outspoken about: a crypto reserve and the removal of capital gains. So we can check 50% of that list off. And we're going to open up that conversation later on in today's episode. We already have 10,000 people here watching on all platforms, guys. The breaking news from today: President Trump announces a U.S. crypto reserve that includes XRP, Solana, and Cardano. He also followed up with a second statement here stating, obviously, Bitcoin and Ethereum, as well as other valuable currencies, so shout out to you, Johnny, will be at the heart of the reserve. So he left the door open for many other blockchains to be included. And here's my my hot take this morning, right? XRP, I mean, anybody who watches this on a daily basis knows how I think about XRP. I think sky's the limit for this project. My exit strategy may need to be edited after this update right here, because think about it, Johnny. At the end of the day, we did not sit here just 6 months ago and take a project like XRP. These weren't even rumors. If anybody said this, you were a conspiracy theorist just a couple of weeks ago. This morning, we're making the announcement. XRP is included, Solana is included, and Cardano is included. Two other things that really stick out to me. So first of all, capital gains tax. Second of all, the resolution of the Ripple versus SEC case. Third of all, we have a White House meeting. The first time ever, a crypto summit is going to be hosted next Friday. White House crypto czar David Sachs just made a brand new announcement in regards to this, stating more announcements coming soon. And I'm going to show you that statement later on in the episode. Actually, I can pull it up right now. So here's the new statement here from David Sachs. White House crypto czar states more to come at the summit starting on March 7th. President Trump has announced a strategic reserve consisting of Bitcoin and other top cryptocurrencies. So different marketing approach, right, Johnny? This is consistent with 1 week Executive Order 1417-8. President Trump is keeping his promise to make the U.S. the crypto capital of the world, and more to come at the summit. And what is this summit? This will be taking place March 7th. I just got the update last night and I actually put out this tweet in regards to it. I'll squeeze it in here, Johnny, and then we'll get another response from you. This event will include prominent founders, CEOs, and investors from the crypto industry, as well as members of the Presidential Working Group on Digital Assets. The summit will be chaired by White House AI and crypto czar David Sachs and administered by the Working Group's executive director, Bo Hines. After the previous administration's unfair prosecution of the digital asset space, President Trump's policy vision represents a new era for digital financial technology. The administration is committed to providing a clear regulatory framework and enabling innovation while protecting economic liberty. And if you listen closely enough, you can hear the money press running in the background, Johnny. So guys, let me know in the live chat. Ones if you're bullish, twos if you're not bullish. It's honestly very ironic and almost humorous that just 5-6 days ago, we were having a serious debate. Are we going to get an alt season this time around? The answer is yes. We're looking at many of these projects, and we never backed away from that narrative, Johnny. I actually went on occasion several times, put myself out there. I said, we are in the midst of a bear trap that looks just like this. So here you go. Floor is yours, Johnny Krypto. What is your reaction?
I mean, Abs, listen, at the end of the day, this is kind of the moment we've been waiting for. We've known all along that the tables are going to turn and Trump was going to do things to make America the crypto capital of the world. But how do you do that? Well, there's a couple things you do. A, you create a committee to start leading it. Two, you create a tax incentive for it. When he's been talking about it, this now puts that tax incentive on the table. We've been hearing, rumblings about, oh, we might get it, we might not get it. It's going to come out and it's going to be for Made in America coins. To me, I think there's a higher probability now that we get something. We may not get zero tax, but let's say you get a reduced tax, 5%, 8%, something like that on there. And then it also tells me that you're probably going to see more Made in America coins get added to it. Think about it. If you want to, he knows the U.S. has been beaten up and set behind purposely for the past 4 years. We all know that the U.S. decided, the guys who call the shots decided we're going to slow crypto down in the U.S. Okay, we saw it. We lived through it. Well, now the good news is the pendulum has swung completely the other way. It doesn't even matter. The lawsuit's all but written off. That's why I've been telling you, Abs, that when the lawsuit gets dismissed, I don't even know if we're going to see much of a price pump on that one because I think it's already baked in. But look at the freaking price pump on this one right here. This is massive because people didn't know what to expect. This wasn't something that was, well known. And obviously by the reaction, you can tell here that this was surprising news. And surprising news will usually drive the price up. Known news where the guys behind the scenes are buying it, that's a little different. But I mean, man, if you bought hopefully people bought the dip, Abs. Look at that down there to 190, and they're sending this bad boy up. Now the question is, how high up do we go? We're gonna have to, wait and see where we can go. But it's not inconceivable that maybe this time around we get a super cycle. And if we do, the likes of, like you've been talking about, $10, $12. We've heard BCB backer talk as high as $17 to $18. That's potentially all on the table now. So when you talked about, hey, Johnny, I might have to rewrite my exit plan, you're not wrong. Not that you got to rewrite, but you definitely need to add a few more points above your 4.26 extension because it's very, very conceivable that we could see above 4.26 extension this time around, Abs.
And putting that in English, guys, 4.2, we're talking double-digit XRP. And you know what's exciting about that, Johnny? Just a couple of weeks ago, that conversation needed to be put to the sidelines. But what did I say over and over and over again last week? It's one headline, it's one narrative that can change the entire crypto market. Did I think it would be this? No, this is even more bullish than I was anticipating. But let's break down some of the price action from this morning. What we're looking at right now is the 1 hour chart for XRP. And Johnny Krypto had referenced it. Over this weekend, we were as low as $1.95, $1.96 here on many price charts for several exchanges. That was less than 3 days ago, Johnny. And today, many of our listeners are waking up on the West Coast. It's 9:30 a.m. They are seeing a $2.92 XRP price chart. And what's so exciting about this is that this is a game of momentum. This is a market that's built off narratives. It's built off attention. And where is all the momentum right now? It's in many of our favorite projects, right? XRP, something we've talked about forever. HBAR, guys, keep an eye on Hedera. It was moving over the weekend. This is another project I'm anticipating many exciting announcements for. Chainlink, Cardano, Solana, many communities that have been watching Good Morning Crypto, Johnny, are about to make more money than they've ever made in their entire life. And I mean that wholeheartedly. I'm wearing the Make America Great Again sign for one reason only. I believe this is the golden age for crypto investors, right? We get to see if it's the golden age of America. I have belief in the US president. But at the end of the day, what I'm seeing from the capital markets is one thing is clear. We came off 4 years of adversity. Now we're heading into an acceptance era. And Donald Trump is setting up the rails for projects like XRP to flourish inside the United States, whether it's regulatory clarity, tax incentives, endorsing partnerships, creating working groups. This party is just getting started. If it's Saturday night, Johnny, we're still at the pregame, my friends. Go back to the college days. Shout out to the people who used to go to the pregames, right? $2.90 XRP sitting here in March. We may actually see a $6, $8 XRP this spring. And so our listeners should be prepared to that. And if you haven't created an exit plan, do so for free today. This is a great example of how the crypto market can completely be flipped on its head in a matter of hours. One headline, one narrative completely changes the game for many of our crypto projects. That's why you need to create a plan beforehand. Don't get caught up in the emotions. Last thing I want to double down on, we'll kick it back to our man, Johnny Krypto. We highlighted it all through last week, but it's so important that I'd like to go through it just one more time. Both bull markets in 2017 and 2021 had major pullbacks of over 40%. So even during a bull market, when projects are creating new all-time highs, there's going to be volatility in the crypto market. And what we saw over the weekend was nothing different than 2017, and it was nothing different than 2021, Johnny. We only had a pullback of about 25 to 28% on the Bitcoin price chart. That doesn't break structure at all. And that's why I was so confident telling our listeners that even though we just created a $100,000 new all-time high for Bitcoin a couple of weeks ago, we were in the midst of a bear trap. And we came down perfectly, cleared $78,000, and it's been nothing but positive momentum since. We are trading back above $90,000 this morning. So again, if you haven't created a plan, create an exit plan below. Give Johnny Krypto some thoughts. Don't give him a hard time in the chat. I see him watching the chat, guys. I'm not sure what's going on. Hostile takeover. Be appropriate this morning, guys. We're all in celebration mode, and that's what I'm excited about, Johnny. The thing that I think is most important, and I am just making a couple jokes here, the thing that's most important, people have been asking us since November, are we late? Are we late? Are we late? The answer is no. 2 reasons. 1, we're pre-regulation. 2, God only knows the catalysts that are sitting in front of us here in 2025. And I think we actually could be breaking down another brand new catalyst starting next week on March 7th when they host the first ever US Crypto Summit. But we already got 15,000 people here, guys. Let us know in the live chat. What are some of your thoughts? First of all, happy Sunday. We're wishing everybody an amazing weekend. Hallelujah. Thank you, President Trump. We are talking about a crypto strategic reserve this morning. And of course, the title says it, Johnny. XRP and Solana, as well as Cardano, were included and posted about by President Trump today. So I know I said a lot there. Give me some thoughts on the XRP price action, as well as all this positive momentum right after the most bearish week in several years.
Well, I mean, that's how it works, and it was funny because a lot of people were panicking this weekend. And Abs, I got to be honest with you, I even put a tweet out there telling everybody, and I did it on purpose, telling everybody I was super bullish, extremely bullish. And you know why I was? Because you would put a tweet out, and you could probably find it where the fear of greed meter was 10, and then it was minus 14 and broken. Like, that's when you need to be extremely super. Abs, I was buying. Yeah, when you put that out, you'll see my tweet or above it or out there. Where I literally said I was extremely super bullish. And I was Abs. I swear to God, dude, I was reaching for pennies whenever I could sell. Or things I can move money in from different areas.
Quick thought, Johnny. We're back above $3, guys. So again, we started today's daily price chart with XRP. I believe we opened up around $2.15. We're going to have a daily close above $3. The question that I have for our live chat is this. I asked you, does XRP break all-time high this month? Let's change it. Do you believe XRP will break all-time high this week? 1's in the chat for yes. 2's in the chat for no. Sorry to cut you off. Floor is yours, Johnny. I just thought that's important. Big catalyst.
I think at the end of the day, hopefully people went out and bought. And the funny thing is, in our community, because we've been talking about it so much here on Good Morning Crypto and so much in the 3T Academy, guys, if you aren't in the 3T Academy, you're making a mistake. You need to click on the link below or go to my link tree or Abs' link tree. There's links in there, and you can join the 3T Academy. You need to do it. We were literally telling everybody in our academy, I could see the panic in the academy. And yet we were trying to help people stay calm, trying to help them understand this is how it works. You buy when you want to puke, and you sell when you don't want to sell. You literally have to do the opposite of how you feel. And that's a very, very hard thing to do unless you've got a community around you telling you and helping you and assuring you like, hey guys, it's okay to be buying when everybody else is running. You need to understand that's how the markets work. And then people just don't understand it because it's not taught that way. But look at that. Look at that candle, right? That candle. Look at that God candle right there. There's a reason why. Whenever there's a dump, there's usually going to be a pump, and vice versa. Whenever there's a pump, there's going to be a dump. You got to have an exit plan. And I know everybody's like, "Oh, you're crazy. I'm not selling." Okay, don't sell. But listen, how many times have you and I, up to this point, bought and sold at $3, bought back at $2, sold at $3, and now we have a chance. We just bought at $2 the other night. Now we're going to be selling at $3 or $4 or $5.
Even if you don't want to get complicated with it, Johnny, what we know is this: one narrative. Keep this in mind. Every single person out there listening. One narrative can change this market. And we saw it this morning with the XRP strategic reserve announcement. It works the exact same way in a bear market. One narrative, one FTX collapse, one exchange getting hacked also crashes the market. So that's what's crazy about crypto. We are in the midst of a breakout. XRP is sitting at $2.93 this morning. And my belief is, guys, I'm in the bullish crowd. I think there's, for the first time ever, Johnny, I've never said this before, I think we can break all-time high for the XRP price chart here in the next couple of weeks, if not sooner. Could really happen depending on how much momentum comes in from the Asian markets.
Yeah.
Those open up late tonight. Guys, it is Sunday afternoon. Why do you think Donald Trump would make a strategic announcement like this on a Sunday, Johnny? Is there any thoughts there?
Maybe he's prepping something for the week. Maybe he wanted to get a head start while Asia was, sleeping, to give America an advantage. I mean, there's all, those little possibilities. I think, what's funny, Abs, is we definitely, you talked about the XRP price chart and how we're going up. And last week you had put out a very, very important indicator. And I don't know if you can find it, if you got it back there, but there was an indicator you put out there and somebody called it out here. So I agree. I think the McRib indicator has, actually, that's good that you do. I was going there. I'm impressed. So there it is, guys. The McRib indicator actually works. Abs, you know what? I haven't eaten a McRib in 20 years. They were so good, but they're so bad for it. I might actually have to eat a McRib. If we break like $6 to $8, Abs, I might break out a McRib right here on the air and eat that son bitch live because, man, the McRib, it hasn't let us down, dude. It's been delivering. Look at that chart.
Very cool, guys. And I want to keep it a little bit more serious because we did the McRib thing 3 days in a row last week. It almost feels like old news at this point, but the McRib indicator does never fail. We've only had it 4 times, and it's a joke for many of our listeners out there. Now, again, the breaking news that we're covering from today is the massive announcement. And I do think Donald Trump made this announcement on a Sunday. I'll explain why, Johnny. I'll get into it right after this. We got 16,000 people here. Here's the breaking news. U.S. crypto reserve will consist of XRP, Solana, Cardano, and then he also gave a second announcement doubling down on Bitcoin and Ethereum being included. The direct statement was this: a U.S. crypto reserve will elevate this critical industry after years of corrupt attacks by the Biden administration, which is why my executive order on digital assets directed the presidential working group to move forward on the crypto strategic reserve that includes XRP, Solana, and Cardano. Round of applause goes off in the background. I will make sure the U.S. is the crypto capital of the world, and we are making America great again. And this was the second statement he followed up with. And obviously, Bitcoin and Ethereum, as well as other valuable cryptocurrencies, will be at the heart of the reserve. I also love Bitcoin and Ethereum. So, guys, the Bitcoin community was a little bit upset they were left out of the initial announcement. Donald Trump saved face and I'm making jokes, but
I'm telling you, dude, his bat phone was ringing off the line. They're like, the Bitcoin maxis, the Ethereum max, like, what's going on? Did we get dropped out? Why didn't you talk about it? And he's like, okay, calm down. Everybody calm down. I just wanted to, he already had talked about Bitcoin, ad nauseum, that it was going to be part of the reserve. We knew that. Everybody knew that. Well, there might have been one person in our chat that didn't know, but everybody in the world knew that Trump was going to make Bitcoin part of the strategic. By the way, that's federal, right? So like everyone's saying, the states are going to reject it. Blah, blah. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the states want to do. It's federal. Trump controls the federal government. Shout out to our man, Coach JV. Coach, if you're around and want to come on, we'd love to have you. But if you can't, it's a Sunday and you're with the family, so totally understand. But yeah, man, it's an amazing time. We now have a federal reserve, or we're going to have, not federal, but we're going to have a strategic, not federal, we'll have a strategic reserve controlled by the federal government in terms of whatever Trump and his boys want to put in there, and it's going to happen. And so we know now, we have insight to 5. We got Bitcoin, we got Ethereum, we got, he said at the bar, we're getting ready for the dude. That's freaking
guys,
awesome.
One's in the chat. If you think JV is getting a buzz cut, is JV going to shave his head? Listen, if JV shaves his head, I think Johnny Krypto, you might have to grow your hair out, and I'll do the inverse as well.
I'll have to grow them all. If JV shaves his head, I'll grow them all, but there ain't no way.
I do want to give a shout out to JV because, first of all, he's the one who actually let us know about this news. I saw it on my Twitter. I put out a tweet immediately. Coach JV texted us and was like, we made it, boys. It's a new day and age. And what's so exciting about this, Johnny, and I think we've talked about this on the phone, I don't think we've done it on camera, is that I made a strategic shift in August. Remember, we had these conversations where I told you, I'm like, we're going to go a little bit more political. We're going to start talking about Trump. This is going to be a huge factor in the crypto market. Days like today are why I made that shift. All it takes is one piece of news, one narrative to completely change the sentiment. And that's why, if you look at this, Johnny, I want to actually pat ourselves on the back as well for something. Last week, we put out an announcement on February 27th. In the middle of the pullback, I put this out on my Twitter, and I said, as these markets are crashing, XRP was just above $2. After spending the better half of a decade in crypto, I've realized days like today are looked back upon as a gift. And exactly 72 hours later, it does feel like a gift. You're never going to catch the top. You're never going to catch the bottom. You're never going to sell the top. But buying the red days and selling the green gives you the best chance of success in the long term. There's no short-term cut to long-term wealth. Today's a great example. Anybody who didn't get scared by the news, didn't sell out of their position, but instead continued their plan, dollar cost average, get more exposure, you're winning more than ever today. And that's what we want to do all throughout 2025. I told you, Johnny, we're going to get tired of winning. It sounds like a joke. This is going to be the best year of our life. I think many of our listeners understand that. Not the best year ever, just the best year to date. So remember that. It's an important detail. There's better years after this one, but this is where we start winning. And somebody commented blessed. Live chat, you are blessed, guys. We got 17,300 people here. Many of you have probably been waiting 3, 4, 5 years for XRP. Today's your moment. I'm not saying that we're going to go straight to 589 here, guys, but it's undeniable. We're getting an alt season. XRP is going to have an advantage. And now the conversation has opened up, Johnny. Are we going to get a removal of capital gains for many of the projects that are in the reserve? More than ever, I'm saying yes. And somebody said merge with Mickle. I would love to merge with Mickle. Hashtag Mickle Mafia's in the chat, guys. But we got 17,500 people, over 1,600 on YouTube. Smash that like button. The goal here is to break 1,000 likes during the stream. Make our dreams come true, guys. The winning is already here. Let's add a little icing on the cake. Let's break 1,000 streams, and let's talk about this for over an hour with you guys. We love and appreciate you. And the reason that we're live on Sunday, Johnny, is today. It's a day we're celebrating, my friend. So give me some thoughts, and then whatever you want to say, floor is yours.
I mean, this is a big day. So I got to catch a plane in a couple hours. As you know, I'm out of here. But yeah, I decided to make some time for this community because this was such big news, huge news. It's so big. And you know, the best part, Abs, is there's always early indicators that come on and tell you, and I don't know if you guys saw this. I need to share this with you, but it was, I think, about 2 or 3 days ago, and here it was. You almost can't go wrong, folks. Whenever Jim Cramer says, the anti-Cramer always works. Put it in your bat phone, save it. Whenever Cramer says things are going to go, I mean, it almost works as good as buying Nancy Pelosi stocks, Abs. You can't ever go wrong there. And you know what, Abs? The other day I literally put out people. I am extremely. Oh, look, we got May. Holy cow, I love it. Shout out to May. Oh, that's awesome. From the 3T Academy. That's awesome. But you know what, Abs? I was so bullish then and wanted to kind of, for our community, kind of let them know. Look, everybody was panicking. But look at this chart. You could see Bitcoin had kind of bottomed out and it had completed its 30% leg. And what do we always say? You've got to get that double tap, that bounce, that back test, if you will. And once that back test happens, we usually then are off to the races because you're wiping out all the leverage that's out there, and it got all wiped out. And there we go. So I'm very, very happy to see that people were literally buying the dip out there. People were staying calm, and at least our community, the 3T community, and our followers were saying like, "Oh, hey, you know what? I bought the dip. I bought more. I'm so excited." You know what? I want to give a big shout out to all of you that remained calm. Who and Abs, so many people told me in our chat and in there, if it wasn't for this group, this team, or our community, they would have sold. They literally said I would have been scared out of the market. So I'm so proud of our community that they are learning, they are retraining their brain. We talk about this in the academy all day. You have to retrain your brain and do things the opposite way. I'm very, very excited to see that happen. Now, in terms of where we're heading, somebody said it. Let me pull it up here. I love this. Basically, you guys all know what Fort Knox is. So Fort Knox is obviously where we hold the gold, or at least we think the gold is. Hopefully Elon will go there. We'll find out if it's there. But this is awesome. This is what's happening. This is literally what just happened today. Well, we know when Trump said he was going to create a reserve, but we are basically creating a digital Fort Knox now. You're going to have, people are talking about, Johnny, what does this mean? So Abs, let's talk a little bit about what we think this means. I'm seeing a lot of things in the chat. Well, people are going to use this. They're going to use this. They're not going to. No. This isn't being bought for use. The way I'm interpreting this right now and the way we've heard is they're looking to create a stockpile. A stockpile doesn't mean you use it. No, a stockpile means you buy and you hold. Just the way we have stockpiles of gold. We have stockpiles of oil. We're talking about buying stockpiles of crypto and holding it. Now, why is that important? Doesn't need the states. States got nothing to do it. Federal government could do whatever it wants. It's going to buy a stockpile. It's going to hold on it. Why is that important for you, me, and everybody in the chat? Because when you buy that stockpile and you hold, Abs, you're taking supply out of circulation. Okay, that supply is now sitting on the sideline and it's not being bought. It's not being traded anymore. That then means, the old supply and demand. Very, very simple. We know how it works. If there's less supply out there being moved around, then that's going to potentially drive the price up. It's going to have more stable hands. So it's really, now the question will be, and this is what I'm looking for. We don't have the answer yet, but we've heard that with Bitcoin, the talk was buying in Loomis's bill, he passed out that they would buy about 200 million worth of Bitcoin or up to $1 billion.
No, it was 5%, so 200,000.
200,000, yeah, to 1 million. Sorry, 1 million coins. 200,000 coins per year for 5 years to get us to 1 million out of the supply. Okay. The question will be how much XRP, how much Solana, how much Cardano. That's what we want to see next. And obviously, we haven't gotten any details like that, but it'll be very, very interesting to see what percentage of the supply is he going to actually buy up, or will the federal government buy up in this? So be on the lookout for that. That's what we want to see next. That'll also have an impact on the price if that's a significantly big number.
Johnny, what do you think? Let's talk about this kind of openly here. One of the things that we talked in late January about, Scott Melker broke the news, Wolf of Wall Street. And what did he say? There was only one other digital asset besides Bitcoin being considered for the strategic reserve here. It was XRP. And as you can tell, we did a lot of segments. We showed our listeners this for a long time, so much so that people said, oh, you're showing the same video over and over. Well, it's days like today that validate as to why we hyper-focus on some of these headlines. A day like today is not the end. It's the beginning of a much larger movement. Let's talk about the long-term impact here. If the U.S. government decides to buy the three that Donald Trump has stated, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then XRP, Solana, and Cardano, what does that do? Well, it sets the standard for governments, central banks, and private entities all around the world to invest in these particular assets as a hedge against inflation, but also as ownership in the base layer where value will be transferred going forward. What is the entire purpose of crypto, right? Ripple's mission when it comes to their company, it's to make money move how data moves today. It should be as easy to send $5 million as it is to send a text message. And it sounds hyperbolic, but it's a reality here in the cryptocurrency market. Think about Gary Cardone. Shout out to our friend Gary Cardone. When he sold his $100,000 worth of XRP, what did he do? He blurred out the fee. You know why? It was a fraction of a penny. If you do the same transaction with Bitcoin here, may cost you $50, may cost you $200, depending on how big your transaction is. So why is this important for our listeners to understand? Because if this is going to set the standard for governments and institutions around the world to buy these particular assets as a hedge in the crypto market, well, then we're so early, it may feel like we're late. We're so early, Johnny Crypto. You want to talk $10 XRP? If you want to talk 10, 20 years from now, we could have a 4-digit XRP. I'm not even kidding. If you really think about a long enough time frame, 2035, who knows how much value is going to move from the broader economy onto these ledgers? And the XRPL is probably set up in the best position here going forward. So if you're enjoying today's show, guys, I don't know how long we got Johnny here for, but we got 20,000 people here joining us. Smash that like button and let me know in the live chat what your thoughts are on the standard that Donald Trump is setting here. He's keeping his promise, Johnny, and we talked about it in October. He made several promises. This opens the door. So I know this is huge news, and I don't want to gloss over it. We may very soon also, by the end of 2025, have the removal of capital gains for these same exact projects. You may even get tired of winning, as he said. And that's really the theme all throughout today's show. Give me some thoughts on those statements and this setting the standard for other countries all around the world.
Well, so Abs, first of all, I got about 5 minutes left and I got to run because I got to catch a plane. But as you said, I think the most important part here is, he has just signaled to the world, not only is a strategic reserve coming, but he's even signaled what's going to potentially be in it. Right. So now the question is, this is not a federal reserve. There's a difference between federal and strategic. And I don't think people understand that. This is not going to be something, banks may or may not. This is not federal. So banks may or may not use it. But the government itself, that's why he's being very careful in saying the word strategic reserve and not federal. Strategic reserve will hold on to it as a government asset by the federal government. That's why I've said over and over again, it doesn't matter what the states want to do. This is a federal asset. And the federal government does not need U.S. state law or U.S. It does not need any states for permission. It can do whatever it wants with its federal money. The federal government can decide, Abs, where it wants to dole out money to other states. The states don't get to decide where the federal money goes. The federal government does that, and that's what Trump has control of. Now, he said we're going to create the strategic reserve. Now, to your point, and we've been saying this, what do you think other countries are going to do? Do you think every other country is going to sit there and go, well, the U.S. is buying this, but we're going to sit on our hands and we're going to do nothing. We're not going to, no. Everybody looks always to see. In fact, I've seen several governments say we're not going to do anything until we see what the U.S. is going to do. Well, he just said to the world today what they're going to do. Now, Abs, I would not be surprised if we find out later that the U.S. government already bought in that past drop this weekend. I would not be surprised if we learned that they bought their XRP, their Solana, and their Cardano for the strategic reserve. It would not surprise me at all. Just the way BlackRock was buying Bitcoin at 15K, not telling anybody, and then they announced the ETF afterward. Most likely that dip that you see there was probably the U.S. government buying some. I'm speculating. I don't have inside information. We'll find out later. But I would not be surprised to find out we were buying there. Now the news comes out. We're heading up, and we may not see lower prices like this again. It'd be very, very interesting because now what we need to watch are two things. What's the U.S. going to buy in each one of those buckets? And what are other countries going to do? Are we going to now start to see over the next week and months all these other nations just falling like dominoes? Hey, we're starting a reserve. We're starting a crypto reserve. Everybody's starting a crypto reserve. I honestly believe you'll see a good chunk of countries starting to create a crypto reserve. Now, what they put in it, that'll be up to each government. But most likely, I would think they're going to look at the 5 that the U.S. has already announced, and at a minimum, probably want to put those 5 in there. And then we'll see from there how they go. And that's where the jury's out, and we have to see. But it just would not surprise me to start seeing those governments starting to follow U.S. direction.
And look at this, Johnny. We covered it in January as well. Ripple's CEO is featured on the cover of the New York Post because he was a leading candidate for the Cryptocurrency Advisory Board. These narratives aren't just headlines, guys. These are indicators of how this market's going to operate going forward. Donald Trump put out a post on Truth Social less than a week ago, Johnny, referencing Ripple's growth inside the United States after he was elected president. There's no such thing as a coincidence, just an unrecognized pattern here. And I really believe this throughout the entire Trump administration. There's going to be more and more and more adoption and articles and updates from the current team that we're looking at today. Now, again, if you're just joining the show, I just want to keep reading this. We got 22,000 people here. U.S. crypto reserve has been announced by U.S. President Trump this morning. He will create a crypto reserve that consists of XRP, Solana, and Cardano, as well as Bitcoin and Ethereum. They will also be at the heart of the reserve. And Johnny, I know we only got you for a couple of minutes here, so I'm going to hit you with a couple of different topics, and then we'll have Gonzo joining us, guys. If you want us to stick around, we're going to talk to Gonzo and maybe Mario. Mario says he's at Costco. So shout out to Mario shopping at Costco, doing his Sunday activities. Mario's a family man, guys. Much respect to Mar-a-Lago Mario, but we're going to have Gonzo joining us, maybe Mario from Costco. And the reality here is, Johnny, there's so many other things that we can talk about in reference to this. I talked about capital gains. Let's move on to the next portion of this. What is going on with the Ripple case? How are we sitting in an environment where the U.S. president is talking about an XRP national reserve, but the government agency, the SEC, is still attacking the underlying company Ripple? Give me some of your thoughts here, and then I'm going to get into a thread and a couple opinions of my own.
I think are you talking about in terms of use cases, or what do you mean as?
Whatever you'd like to say, bro. Floor just totally yours. I'm going to get this article prepared in the background. It's just kind of like a softball. However you want to take it, because here's my take, right? Yeah. Obviously, there's bigger things happening behind the scenes. And the fact that a judge already offered the $125 million settlement, the SEC doesn't want to leave that money on the table.
Correct.
What Jeremy Hogan stated is that there could actually be a bigger difference where the U.S. government maybe disagrees about some of the initial ruling. And that's what we're going to get into. But
yeah. Matter of fact, I think you put a tweet out with Metal Lawman or someone had kind of put his perspective out on maybe behind the scenes there's some speculation there that the U.S. government's trying to get the whole case dropped. Or I'm sorry, not the U.S. government. Ripple is trying to get the whole case dropped, and then that 125 comes off the table. That is very possible. Certainly think about it. Why would you not at least try? If you're Ripple, 125 million. Now, I know Jeremy Hogan said the 125 has already been written. The check is set aside. It's ready to go. But if you're the CEO and you now have a connection to Trump and you know where the world is headed, it's not an inconceivable theory, Abs, to sit here and say, like, hey, you know what? Let's go see if we can get them to overturn the other half of Judge Torres's ruling. And maybe they're having some discussions around that. Hey, what's the possibility? I mean, again, to me, that's going to be a little tougher because you need the judge, and the judge already kind of made a ruling. So it'll be interesting. It's certainly a theory, and I know you're pulling up here, so I'll let you hop into it. But to me, I'll be honest with you, Abs. The case is almost irrelevant to me at this point. I know we went through 4 years of like this was the most important thing. It's almost like now It's forgotten about. It's in the wind. Everybody's assumed it's over. The price of it being dropped, in my opinion, is already baked into the price. So that part, that's not going to drive a lot of crazy news. Maybe a little spike. The big news is this one, that XRP will now be part of a strategic reserve. And the reason why that's massive news is because as other governments, if they start Mario spending half his butt, that is great. We got the best chat in the world. I love it. Mario spending. Somebody's got to spend some of that money, right? But, at the end of the day, this is massive because now all governments are going to start to look and go, okay, you know what? We got to add some XRP. And we got to add some XRP. And we got to add some XRP. And that's going to pull supply out. A stockpile is exactly that. So I'm just going by Trump's words. If he's going to call it a stockpile, and that's what it is, that means we're just going to buy it and we're going to hold. Buy and hold. That's it. And you know what? We know from Bitcoin's perspective, gold, right? We always hear about and you heard Senator Loomis say it again yesterday, it's digital gold. It's right. You're buying gold. What do you do with gold? You don't eat it. You don't spend it. You buy and you hold it. Most people own gold. Who I talk to, you know where it is? It's in their safe. They buy and they hold it. Same thing's happening here with Bitcoin. Buy and hold. And if you start buying and holding all these other assets and other governments start doing it, they're going to start reducing supply in the market. And as that supply, gets put on the shelf, that reduces volatility. Not only does it reduce volatility, it also brings the price up because there's less in the market that's being traded daily. So that's a good thing if we see the float, if you will, kind of get reduced because of the fact that countries are just buying and holding it.
You may even get tired of winning. And I'm just kidding, Johnny. I'm going to leave you up on the screen. We just got a brand new announcement here from Brad Garlinghouse live as we're on air. We got 22,000 people here. Show us some love. Smash that like button. The goal is to break 1,000 likes on YouTube. We're going to have Gonzo and Mario joining us as long as we stay live long enough. But here's the brand new announcement out of Ripple's CEO, Brad Garlinghouse. I've said this before. The crypto industry will achieve our goals, and if we work together, we appreciate the crypto president Donald Trump's vision of a government digital asset reserve representative of the industry. Maximalism is the enemy of industry's progress, and I'm glad to see the president of the United States recognizing we live in a multi-chain world, and that's where we're finally moving past Bill Hinman and the Biden administration's SEC's very broken thinking. I will certainly continue to champion this at the end of this week in Washington, D.C. So 2 things, Johnny. First of all, we know he's going to be at the meeting on Friday. He basically just made that announcement right there. The second big thing right here is that it's a multi-chain world, and that expands the opportunity for other blockchains as well. We're excited about XRP because we own it. We've been talking about it for 5 years. I've owned this thing since 2019, but there are other projects I believe should be considered, and we can kind of talk about that later on. We were going to get into the case, but this update I just saw, so I wanted to get some of your thoughts on this update. Brad Garlinghouse said he's going to continue to champion this in Washington, and maybe more importantly, it's a multi-chain world here in the U.S. going forward.
Well, first of all, when you're having dinner with the president, that's a good thing. I mean, let me ask you a question. How many other crypto company, CEOs have had dinner with the president? Yeah, exactly. Right. So we kind of knew. We said something good was going to come out of that meeting, whether it was going to be a reserve or whether it was going to be getting the case drop, right? We didn't know what they talked about. We still don't know. We probably never will. But we could speculate that certainly from that, there it is right there. Something good was coming out of that meeting. And it was what, a month and a half ago?
He titled it Strong Start to 2025. Remember that. That's kind of important.
Yeah, exactly. So he kind of knew, probably had some speculation what was going to come out of this thing. But the fact that we're now sitting here with XRP being part of the strategic reserve, that is massive news for Ripple, for XRP as holistically. And I think just for, all the holders that we have sit here, we've been waiting for this moment in time. When were we going to have our day? Well, today, my friends, we got our day. We got the big news. This is massive, massive news that XRP is now put on the face of the earth. A lot of companies were going to stay away, right? Because the lawsuit still is pending. I think a lot of companies know now that it's going away. But, I mean, listen, if the U.S. government is coming out and saying to the world, we're going to put XRP in there while the case is still pending, what is that? I mean, if you can't read the writing on the wall, that message is telling you, like, that case is over. So that should signal and make Brad's job easier and Ripple's job easier as they're going and knocking on doors in the U.S. to try and get adoption for their technology, it's going to be much, much simpler. And this is probably just the beginning. I'm sure we're going to hear more news about RLUSD. Don't be surprised if somewhere down the world we start hearing, hey, the U.S. government's going to start leveraging RLUSD over here, and then maybe some XRP over there. And so that, to me, I think is just coming next. But this is just this is the initial starter of where we're going. I mean, it's just massive news, and that's why we're here today on a Sunday afternoon meeting with you guys. And Abs, I like it because somebody actually said, where was it? Someone had called out. Here it is. It's almost like a new show, Sunday with Abs and Johnny. Who knows? Stick around. Maybe there will be a new show soon. But maybe we'll have to do something else because there's so much good news and there's so much winning, guys. We're going to have to be around and, we're going to have to provide some more news, maybe at nighttime. Who the hell knows? But anyway, point being is, in the long run, we finally, and credit to you, Abs, you've been calling this out for a while. Will we get a basket? Will we get a strategic? We all kind of knew we were getting a strategic reserve. The question is, would it be a basket? And here it is. We got our answer. And now the question is, what's next? What's coming? What's going to get added to this basket? If I were a betting man, I would go to CoinMarketCap, click on the Made in America section, and you can almost go down that list because, to not see HBAR in here and a few other is interesting, but I think you'll start to see some of those other made in. There we go, Abs. I think we'll start. Oh, God, I hope we don't see Doge in there. But I think we could see something like Hedera in there, Chainlink in there, XLM in there. Don't be surprised if we start to see a few more of those going in. But it is interesting because right now, the top three, look at that. He chose the top three, XRP, Solana, and Cardano for Made in America. He stopped right above Doge. I know Elon probably not too happy about that. But I don't think we want to see Doge in there. That's for sure.
Here's the truth, too. Cardano's actually the top performer on today. We're trading back over $1, up 62% on the price chart. XRP is up 33%, and Solana, a strong 21% on the daily time frame. Now, you made some good points, right? Hedera, Chainlink, Stellar. Are these other currencies going to be included? Maybe it's a reference as to the market share that each of those projects are going to absorb. Maybe he said XRP, Solana, and Cardano because those three are going to consist of 70% of the fund, right?
Yeah.
That could be some logic there. Want to speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, I think when he's looking at it, he's probably saying, "Hey, I'm just try to speculate here, right? If you're sitting around the table, and you go, okay, I want to make the U.S. the crypto capital of the world. Okay, how do I do that?" And he's talking to his heads, and what are we going to do? Well, what would we do? What would we do? Let's talk what we would do. We would say, okay, let's go look at the ones that made in America. Let's go look who the biggest player are. Let's look at the ones we have a relationship with. Let's look at where they're going, and we saw that Trump called, right, the other day. Charles like, look, Trump just called my cell phone, right? So obviously, he's got connection with these guys. He's probably talking to them, trying to understand what their vision is. And maybe they've shared visions that he likes, okay? And he's like, okay, you know what? Let's start with these. These are the three biggest. And we've talked to the heads. We know what their visions are. We like where they're going. Okay, we're going to put these in there. And then I imagine that that's going to continue down the line. I would literally, like I said, pull up that list. Not now, I'm saying that that's what I would do. And I go, okay, who's next? And I think next on the list was Hedera. I think was the next biggest one to follow. So it would not surprise me if they just go down the list and maybe add a couple more and figure it out. I don't think it's going to be huge. I don't think we're going to see 100 in here. Yeah, you got Hedera in there. You got what's below Chainlink? Scroll down, Abs. Stellar and Avalanche. There you go. I'll tell you what, you go with those 4 or 5 right there. That's a nice, solid, Avalanche, very good with gaming background, Chainlink for interoperability. You've got Hedera, fast payment speeds, Stellar, person to person. There's so many different use cases in here. And some of these are different that it makes sense to put them in here. And then what do you do on top of that? What do you do then to light the fire underneath this thing? After you've announced the reserve, you know what I would do next? I go, okay, any of these in here, all tax-free, made in America. And bang, your money's just going to start. So not only now you got to think about this, and then I got to go. Think about this. Not only you have governments buying all these because now the U.S. signal it, but then it's going to be like, hey, we're going to make these tax-free. Now every billionaire is going, I want to put my money in it because I want freaking tax-free. I want tax-free items. And you just pump this thing. They keep pumping this so much up like I never pumped it before. It's going to be crazy, man. It's get 2025.
Last comment we got to get from you, Johnny, is the resolution of the case. Now, what we know for sure is that XRP is working directly with the U.S. Ripple's working directly with the U.S. president, and the underlying currency, XRP here, is going to have an advantage by being in this fund. What are the chances that we see a resolution in this case anytime soon? Like, I know it doesn't necessarily matter so much, but it just seems very ironic. Like, how would you phrase it that we're still ongoing with this?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I don't think it matters at this point. I really don't believe it matters at all. I think when I'll be honest with you, Abs, when Trump won on November 5th and we saw XRP and everything start pumping, I think those were the dates when we realized. And I know you're probably reading a text message over there from the boys. Those are the days when when this case no longer mattered. Now the question is, when does it get dropped? I mean, we've talked to Jeremy on this, Jeremy Hogan, right? The attorneys, the guys who know this, and his take has always been somewhere in the April-May timeframe, because I think they're waiting for Atkins. Because here's the thing, like we're seeing all this other stuff get dropped, right? But let's be honest, none of those other cases were anywhere near the importance, the length that we saw the XRP case in the news, 4 years being dragged through the mud. Significant, had a major ruling for and against it. Okay, so there's some complexities there. So, yeah, like the other ones are like, okay, you know what? These things haven't gone to court yet, or we're midway through court. We're just going to drop them. That's easy, Abs. This one's been ruled on already, and it's in the middle of an appeal. So you almost want to wait for the boss to come on board on this one. Like we know the boss has been telling behind the scenes, and when I say the boss, I mean Paul Atkins. We know that the boss is kind of talking to them behind the scenes. At least that's the room when he's telling them what to do. On the Ripple one, part of me believes that it's just so complex. They're like, hey, we're going to wait for you to come on board. Then we'll figure out how we're going to go about this thing and then drop it. So I think that's what we're waiting for, or they're waiting for, is we need act. Now, I hope I'm wrong. Maybe I am, and maybe we'll see the drop. Maybe he is working behind the scenes. It's just more complex, and we'll get an answer this month, and we'll see it get dropped, hopefully. But I'm not so sure it's going to be that significant, because I think the whole world is expecting it to get dropped. But to me, I think look for his confirmation. Abs, do you have a date on when he's up for confirmation? Have they announced yet when?
There's no specific date. They're saying mid-April.
Oh, wow. Mid-April. Oh, wow. Okay. So, yeah. So, if he gets – okay. So, let's play on that. And then I got to go. If he says mid-April, I just pulled an Abs like 3 times, but I really got to go. If he gets dropped in mid-April, or not dropped, if he gets added, let's say he gets confirmed in mid-April, then he's going to come in, meet the team, do this, that. Of course, I'm sure. So go through the detail. Yeah, you know what? May seems like the time when we would probably get this thing dropped. I would still have to say that is probably somewhere in the zone. April, probably end of April, somewhere in May, I think makes sense if his confirmation does occur in middle April.
Johnny, I'm going to wrap it up with you here, guys. We got 24,000 people here joining us. Show us some love. Smash that like button. A serious message to end the show. What we're talking about all throughout today's show, President Trump, massive announcement, says other valuable cryptocurrencies will be included in the U.S. Reserve alongside Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, and Cardano. So again, these are the top performing projects for today. And I showed it earlier. I'll just show it once again. XRP up 32%. We've got Solana up 21% and Cardano up 62% on a daily time frame. And it's actually interesting as well. We are seeing Bitcoin perform very well this morning, back at $93,000, getting as low as $78,000 in the last 72 hours. So
it's over. The dip's over, Abs. The dip's over. Guys, if you didn't buy, I hate to say it, but you ain't getting another chance to buy Bitcoin at 79. You're probably not getting another chance to buy XRP at 191-ish, and you're definitely not getting a chance to buy Cardano at 30 or 60 cents, whatever it was. I think those is over. We're going, you said it. This is the trigger now, I think, for the net. There it is right there. We're in that bear trap. We just pulled out of it. We're probably even with the hill before we fell into it. Yeah, right about there. And now look at that next leg up. But boys, I'm going to leave everybody with this, guys and gals. You better have an exit plan. This is not a cheap pump at this point. This is real. This leg could be the last leg up, right, into at least for this cycle, I mean. And so if you want to take profits, you better have an exit plan. As Abs has been warning you guys all along. Click on the link below. You can sign up for a free 30-day trial, so you got no excuse. Yeah, you got to put your credit card in, but you can also cancel in the app. It's very simple. And so we made it easy. So go try it out. You got nothing to lose. Make an exit plan. And what's cool about making an exit plan, Abs, is I was playing with it last night I was doing a one-on-one with somebody, and she was like adjusting here and adjusting there. And you can kind of say, oh, if this happens, I make that. If that happens, I make this. And I taught her how to do the fibs and everything. So it was really, really cool. So I encourage everybody, have an exit plan. Mental listen, you don't have to sell your XRP. An exit plan doesn't mean sell any of it. You can sell some, sell a little bit, sell a lot of it. It's up to you, whatever helps you sleep at night. But I am super excited, Abs, because we've been waiting for this next leg up. You've been saying it for a while. We're going to make a lot of money. There's going to be a lot of winning. There's no doubt about it. We are on that path. Well, that's I got to go. I'm going to catch. I don't realize I'm going to miss my plane.
Thank you so much, Johnny. Big shout out to Johnny Krypto. I'll keep it rolling for just another minute or two here, guys, because again, huge thank you, Johnny. Any closing words? Any closing message? Just say
I would
goodbye.
just tell everybody, be excited, sit tight. Let's wait and see how the rest of the Abs. For me, what I'm looking for now is how does the rest of the world react? I want to see what other governments are going to do. I can't wait to see this week what's going to happen. Now I'm going to be traveling this week, Abs, so I'll be in and out. I'll try to join shows when I can, but I'll be very, very interested. I know you'll be on top of it. Very, very interesting to see what other governments are doing. So let us know. I'm sure you'll be reporting it, and I'll hop in whenever I can, because to me now that is the most next exciting thing is, will they be scooping it up? Are they going to make announcements of, hey, we're going to do one too? Will they be specific and say what coins are in it, how much they're going to do? I'm counting on you to provide all that. So let me know what you hear. But that's what I'm looking for. I want to see where we're going next. But this is an exciting day. Guys, we are just getting started. Put the seatbelt on and enjoy the ride, Abs. It's going to be a beautiful one.
Strap in, guys. We got 25,000 people here joining us. Hashtag Johnny Kryptos in the chat. Much love to our friend Johnny for making time for us on this Sunday. And we'll see you later in the week, hopefully covering some more exciting updates. But again,
I'll actually see you physically. Hopefully, I'll see you in the week. I'm looking forward to it.
It's a sus statement, guys, but he comes from a good place. Now, we got 25,000 people here. We love and appreciate every single one of you. The goal for today was to break 1,000 likes. We are currently over 900 likes, guys. So if you could help us out in these last 5 or 10 minutes or so, we're going to take you through these updates just one more time and add a little bit more context to the conversation. Does this open the door to remove capital gains on many of our favorite crypto projects? But today, we got an official historic announcement here from the United States president. Donald Trump will be creating a U.S. crypto reserve with XRP, Solana, and Cardano included. Here was the direct statement that was given. A U.S. crypto reserve will elevate this critical industry after years of corrupt attacks from the Biden administration, which is why my executive order on digital assets directed the presidential working group to move forward on a crypto strategic reserve that includes XRP, Solana, and Cardano. I will make sure the U.S. is the crypto capital of the world, and we will make America great again. That is what Donald Trump said in regards to crypto. He also gave a second update because people said, what happened? No Bitcoin, no ETH. Well, he quickly corrected those statements, stating this. Obviously, Bitcoin and Ethereum, and as well as other valuable cryptocurrencies, will be at the heart of the U.S. strategic reserve. I also love Bitcoin and Ethereum. So again, speculation can be put to the sidelines. Bitcoin's here, Ethereum's here, XRP, Solana, and Cardano will also be included in the U.S. strategic reserve. And we've been hinting at this for several months with you guys, which I think is so important because I believe, and I've stated it several times, I believe our community is going to have a chance to make more money than they've ever made. And I believe if you execute on your exit plan, you're going to make more money than any other crypto community out there. We only talk about projects that we believe are going to survive regulation inside the United States. And today was a validating moment for us, as many of the ones that we talk about will be included in the U.S. strategic reserve. So with that being said, let's talk about the bear trap and some of the things that happened. If you remember last week during the midst of all the chaos, Charlie Gasparino took a completely inverse approach from us. So I came on my Twitter and I said, after half a decade, days like today are viewed as an opportunity when we were in the midst of that pullback. Charlie Gasparino put out a different statement. So I just wanted to point this out for a second. He stated, it's official on February 26th, just 5 days ago from today. Crypto is in a bear market. All the major digital coins, including Bitcoin, are down more than 20%. And it's interesting to know that no one seems to know exactly why. The crypto winter of 2023 sparked the implosion of FTX, and this is a bit different. We now have a favorable regulatory environment and no apparent scandal. Do we possibly have a massive irrational exuberance that drove coin prices to all-time high? One other thing, said Charlie, new SEC Chair Paul Atkins might be a tougher regulator than he appears. He might even believe that selling digital coins to fund projects constitutes an unregistered security, which is bad news for Ripple and XRP. If I had a digital bar of soap, I'd put it right in the mouth of Charlie Gasparino on this tweet, because it only took about 72 hours for our live chat to be able to laugh at these statements. What I do think is interesting is, right, there's one end of this where I understand he's engagement farming. He's putting the XRP community here and he's kind of calling them out. But the real thing is that maybe he had insight into some of the things that were happening in the background, and he was purposefully misleading people. So I do think Charlie, if he's going to have a platform, he's a Fox business guy, he's rightfully either trolling or he's intentionally misleading people. Neither of those I really like. So shout out to Charlie for giving us the inverse. It's like, this may be the new Jim Cramer. And the reason that I think this is important is because people took this statement seriously. All throughout last week, in the midst of the bear trap that we have highlighted throughout today's episode, we were having to convince people to not be nervous, don't get caught up in the emotions, don't sell out of your long-term investments or get nervous and try to, move from one project to the next. Instead, we said it only takes one narrative and one headline to completely change this market. Little did we know it would be more optimistic than we had even anticipated, guys. So I'm officially over an hour. I want to give a massive thank you to everybody who joined us for this Sunday live stream. We got 25,400 people here. This is a video I'm going to close it out with. I'm going to give you that update one more time. But when it comes to the capital gains tax removal, this is a conversation that now needs to be taken seriously. Here we go.
Agenda to get people investing, building, buying, manufacturing, all the above in the United States. Mm-hmm. And so one way to do that is to say, hey, if you're a crypto investor, buy some tokens that are based out of the United States. And when you go to sell it, after 12 months, by the way, capital gain is after a 12-month hold. So you traders don't get, gleamy-eyed here. But after I hold this token for at least 12 months, I might get a reduced capital gains rate. Mm-hmm. And that's going to help. And why would he do that? Because it stimulates the economy in the United States. It creates jobs in the United States. What extent? But that's the theory. And I think in a perfect world, it'd be exciting. I just hope that the tokens I like are, going to be here in the US. Yeah. Always number one, my investors out there, you invest in what you know is best. Who cares if I can save between 15 to 20% on the tax bill, tax rate? I want to buy what makes freaking sense. Then it happens to align with a US-based opportunity. Great. But let's not chase that. Let's chase what we know and is going to make us money. And then hopefully they coincide.
I love that message because I think we provide that almost every single day here on Good Morning Crypto. We want our listeners to not be in these meme coins, not be in short-term pump and dumps, but instead be involved in projects that are here to stay and are going to survive after regulation is launched inside the United States. We got 25,600 people here. I want to give a huge thank you to everyone who hit the like button. We officially broke 1,000 likes on today's stream. And again, because there's so many new people, the breaking news, Donald Trump has announced a U.S. crypto strategic reserve that includes XRP, Solana, and Cardano. He followed this post up by announcing it will also include Ethereum and Bitcoin as well. So, important narratives to keep an eye on. How much of this reserve will consist of XRP versus Bitcoin versus Cardano? Because I believe the one that has the largest market share is going to have the most bullish sentiment going forward. The second thing our listeners should be aware of, we can now officially start talking about the removal of capital gains inside the United States and how that's going to benefit many of our favorite projects. But I'm going to close out today's episode by just saying a massive thank you to every single person who's here, who is joining us, who is bullish. You made it through the bear trap. It is a new era for crypto, not only inside the United States, but all around the world with the standard that Donald Trump set this morning. So with that being said, guys, we love you. We appreciate you. And like we always say, Warriors, rise. Get your shit together, baby, and enjoy this.
You're going to be so proud of your president, and I don't care about that. But you are going to be so proud of your country because we're going to turn it around and we're going to start winning again. We're going to win so much. We're going to win at every level. We're going to win economically. We're going to win with the economy. We're going to win with military. We're going to win with healthcare and for our veterans. We're going to win with every single facet. We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more.
But the challenge, as you know well, is the U.S. has had this very hostile. The Biden administration has been waging a war on crypto, and I think an unlawful war. Courts have agreed with us on that. And we're finally seeing that kind of unlocked in a Trump embraced crypto and crypto embraced Trump. And I think we're seeing that reflect in kind of how the markets have reacted since the election. So we want them to have a role. And as you know well, one of the biggest problems the crypto industry has had isn't the idea there's too much regulation. It's just the regulation's not even clear. We're trying to apply laws from literally 1946, a famous Supreme Court case called the Howey test. We're trying to apply that to a digital asset industry that's been developed in the last 10, 15, 20 years. And so it just doesn't fit. And I think as we bring this new, really the Trump cabinet to bear, getting those clear rules, which we've been asking for under the Biden administration for years, I think we're finally going to get that clarity, which will help the U.S. lead again. And I think, Trump talks about making America great again. I think he's going to make crypto great again in the United States.